Alright, we're gonna have a look at Lego Horizon Adventures. I have very little experience with the Lego games. There we go. I think I tried, was it the Star Wars one? Seems very fun. Gonna start the game with my Gamesir T4 here. Normal gamepad mode to see how that's gonna go. One little good fun thing here is this game seems to have excellent, well, it's hard to tell, but good HDR support. HDR is working here in windowed mode, which is not what all games do. It's been a long time since I enjoyed HDR. I do think it's fun. Yeah, I have a TCL you do like mini LED screen, which is really fairly good at HDR. It has a little bit of bugs in my TCL, so you know, it's not performing the best it can, but it still is pretty good. It's not only good or anything like that, so it's gonna be fun. So first we're gonna just go through this nice little menu, like I always do before I enter the games, to kind of tweak my base experience. This is pretty much just gonna be a HUD scale. That's great to have. Co-op support seems like, but we're gonna go solo here. Nice little tweak. This is pretty much just default settings. Cinematic and blah, blah, blah. Subtitles for that, sure. Leave this default. Lots of nice little settings here. The size of that's nice. Background opacity. Alright, let's leave it in the middle. Let's do that with automatic. This is yeah, okay. Do it automatically advances, sure. Colorblind, so I cannot evaluate this. Replace a hole with toggle. Okay, interesting. Tap time. Or tap. How long to press a button until it's treated as a hole input rather than a tap? Alright. Repeated button presses. Enable action to require repeated button. Enable actions. Oh, you can disable. Okay, well, we're gonna leave this on default by now. Always run. Oh my god, okay. More precise or forgiving. Let's go with that. Sure. Well, let's go for default. Lots of nice options here. Text language, English. Sure, I'm not gonna... Oh, right, you have a nice little list here. You can see lots of different language here. Can I? No. Cannot quickly go. I have to tap. A little bit of annoying. Audio language, the same. Nice list of different language available. More than enough. Difficult, we're gonna select that when we start the game, but it has a few different settings. I feel this almost should be under like accessibility, but hey, if you want the kid mode, you know, your kids to just not be able to take damage. But we're gonna go with the default stuff here. Video settings. This is great. Again, for HDR, I'll tweak this. By default, it seems to be very less HDR. We're gonna see how this feels. This is something I might have to tweak when in the game. But it's good to have these settings, but it would be nice if you had like a picture, something to help you tweak this. But this is amazing settings. So this is your kind of like, should be set to your monitor's peak. Like maximum peak brightness. There's no list or anything to tweak. It goes really high. It started at like 300 nits for me, but my screen should be able to do 1000 nits. This goes to 100, this goes to 100. I just changed this to the middle. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. Might have to lower or raise it. And this was set a little bit lower by default, but I bumped it up a little bit just to see. You know, we can do We can try that. Let's see how this is gonna be. This is for the UI, so it doesn't, you know, glow in your face like crazy, which is really nice. Might turn it down to 100. It supports window mode full screen and window full screen, all the nice little good settings there. Haven't tried if this is exclusive or not. I'm running this window mode and HDR is working in Windows mode. So far everything is just top notch here. You can see the resolution mode, pretty much 16:9 and 16:10 support, what I can see. Frame rate limit, unlimited, 30, 60, 120, 144, 160, 105, 182, 40 and 360. And I set it to 120. This good also is that in this menu it is not like taxing my CPU or GPU crazy. Virtual Sync, you can turn it on or off, but not when you have frame generation on. Now I'm running an RTX 3070 here, and this game only supports DLSS. You can also see DLA and TSR, but frame generation is not available when we swap this one, right? So I want to use my Nvidia's built-in DLSS for upscaling because that is really nice. I'm gonna start with the balance. So I have used the mod for adding frame generation, and I'm gonna link down below to it, and you need to put it pretty much within, you find where the game is installed in Steam or whatever. So when you found where the game is installed on your hard drive, you then go into the subfolder Glow binaries Windows Win64, and in there you can put the mod. In my case it is DLSSG to FSR3 AMD is better DLL file, and also the version DLL file within this folder, and then you can enable frame generation on RTX 2 and 3000 series card. It is FSR frame generation, but this is a heavy game. I wish that this game would have included, you know, FSR XES, and they would have had DLSS frame generation, and like that it would have DLSS, and it would have added reflex and support for FSR 3.1 plus. That there would, because with that you can combine DLSS upscaling with the the FSR frame generation. So far I think it's only like one game that I've had it. I forgot which game it is. But yeah, so I'm using a mod for frame generation because this is heavy. I might toggle it on and off to show you, but I cannot get 120 frames. Just quick test. And other than that, you have some lighting, shadow, effects, reflection, post-process settings here. There isn't any real like textures settings, which is unfortunate. Because I would have needed like to tweak this textures would be nice. It seems quite heavy. Already in the menu, like 4 gigs of VRAM is being used here, so we'll see how this is gonna pan out in the full game. Audio settings, everything is max by default, but you have lots of good settings. Audio mix, this is more of like, it will not have as much low or high difference, but is the difference between the low sound and the high sounds is not going to be as big. It will compress it, so it will more of a subtle difference between high and low volumes. But we're gonna go with the default mix here. Vibration, I turned this one off. I don't enjoy that. I don't use that anyway. Real nice that tweak your dead zone settings. This is by default so far. Doesn't seem to be too crazy with stuff. I'm gonna try to see if we can do something here. Did it work? It did work. Yay. Move, aim, attack, throw, focus, pulse, interact, pick up. Use gadget, drop from ledge. Use gadget. Okay, well, I have changed it. Let's see how this is gonna work. Because my stick click is my back buttons on the Gamesir T4 K. So let's see. But amazing. So far, this is a top-notch experience here. And you can also remap here. Here is the first thing that I'm a little bit curious. There's no settings for mouse sensitivity or anything like that. But let's get into the game now. We are gonna start anew. We have save slots, which also is amazing. You can see only 3 minutes just to get a base performance and everything going. We're gonna start with balancing here. A balancing combat story. I think Lego games, yeah, Lego, aren't really like that challenging, so could probably bump it up.
In the far future, there are no TVs, no smartphones, no social media. Just beautiful and totally not boring nature everywhere. Oh, and giant robot dinosaurs, of course. Nobody knows where they came from, or what happened to the ancient world of cars, skyscrapers, and funny cat videos that existed once. It's what the people who live in these times call a mystery. And it's not the only one. Years ago, Tirsa, the leader of her tribe, found a baby girl all alone in the mountains. Nobody knows where she came from either. And since orphans in stories always bring trouble, that made the villagers a little nervous. So the mysterious child was raised outside of the village by the hunter Rost.
You can skip cutscenes if you want to. I tried it at least with keyboard and mouse. I'm pretty certain it's the same for... yeah.
Open wide. He soon discovered she had a natural talent for hitting targets. And watching Aloy grow over the years, helping to hone her skills, filled him with great joy and satisfaction.
Looks like this is like...
But through it all,
I wonder if this is pre-rendered or not. Hard to tell.
Where had she come from? Who was her mother? And why the heck had she been left in the mountains?
I don't think it's pre-rendered.
The old lady who found her could answer. But you're not here to listen to me go on and on. This is a game, not an audiobook. So let's join Aloy as she embarks on an epic adventure on the day she travels to the village of Mother's Heart for the first time.
Right. It could have been a pre-rendered. The colors looked a little bit off there. Could have been like a... It could have been a movie, like a pre-rendered movie there, cutscene. Because the HDR effect looked a little bit weird. Right. You have analog movement. You can see here my GPU on the top left there is pretty much maxed out. Let me just calibrate my calibrated the sticks. It's pretty much maxed out, and I can just barely hit 120 frames here on my RTX 3070 in 1440p high settings. If I turn off frame generation, I will not even close to these settings. You can see I can get around 80 frames. And it's perfectly playable, there's nothing wrong with that, but I want that little extra smoothness. So that's why I'm using this mod. You can also, you know, change resolution, tweak settings down to medium. But I'm not a hater of frame generation. So for no stuttering or anything like that. And this is just adds smoothness, it still looks really nice. You do lose V-Sync, so it looks like it could be a little bit of a tearing here and there. But this is a very beautiful game looking. I think the HDR effect here looks pretty decent. I don't know how the aiming is gonna work, so we're gonna try something. Right, so you cannot combine mouse aiming with gamepad. It kind of flickers bad. dual input, both mouse and keyboard and gamepad works, but you get flickering there from that HUD. Right. Oh, remapping is working. Eat berries to recover HP.
How come these bushes never grow candy
Okay.
chocolates?
So it is very heavy here. Already I'm almost hitting 7 GB of VRAM. So for these settings, you know, at least 8 GB of VRAM is gonna be
The day
required,
is
I feel.
finally here, like right here, because it's today.
Well, you wait long enough. Every day gets here eventually.
I wonder what Mother's heart is like. And Tirsa, of course. What do you think she's gonna tell me? She has to know something, right? I mean, she found me, so if anyone knows anything.
Oh, slow down. We have to get there first. Maybe you can work off some of that energy on the way. What do you say to a little training?
I say, look out, training. Here comes Aloy.
This was a big day for Aloy, all right. First time seeing the village of Mother's Heart. First chance to ask Tirsa about her mother. And first time having her thoughts and feelings narrated.
So yeah, you do get a little bit of tearing here, unfortunately, with the... At least when I'm locking my frames. If I unlock the frames, maybe then I wouldn't get any tearing. And I could just run this in 60 frames. It's probably perfectly fine, but we're gonna go with these settings anyway for now. But frame generation, I do know I've had experience with no tearing and stuff like that before, so it shouldn't be any problem. But I prefer the smoothness. Would have been nice if VSync could have been able here for me here together and everything, but smoothness is the key here. And if you have a G-Sync monitor, you should be fine. You could maybe lock the frame rate maybe a little bit under or something like that, manually lock it. I'm running without G-Sync enable or FreeSync. I think my settings might be pretty good for my 1000 nit TCL TV here that I'm playing on. You can see that this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, I believe, and you can see that pretty much all the cores here are being utilized. It's very multi-threaded, so up to 12 threads here without any problems. I am curious, let's just try to see one thing here. So by default this was set to 6, this was set to, I think it's what, 25, just to see what difference it makes. Maybe this could be better, it's hard to tell. Really difficult to tell. If this is morning, this could be better. But if this is day, this could be a little bit better if this is just morning, daytime here. You know, let's maybe... I'm sorry, I want to have like a really good experience here. Let's maybe try that. This gives it a little bit more of a morning vibe here. Yeah, this is probably good. Oh. Okay, you use the left stick there. You just...
Frost had installed that zipline like I asked. This would be much easier.
Okay, let me remap something here real quick. So far, I love the style, the vibe of it. Let's just do that for now. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a subtle but nice HDR effect here. I think this is probably good. Probably good here. Yeah, let's just play with this HDR. You can tweak it a lot, and you can also tweak this. Yeah, it's gonna check my. Let's add a little bit. Yeah, HG. I think I'm gonna use HDIG since I'm tweaking the settings of HDR from within the game. We're gonna keep HDIG on. Go. So HDIG, if you have a HDR capable monitor or TV playing on, and if you can, like in this game, set these settings yourself, it should look better with HDIG turned on, because that pretty much disable every HDR kind of extra oomph in your monitor or TV and lets the game do the oomph instead. To my knowledge, that is the case. So I'm gonna keep HDIG turned on my monitor here, and then I'm gonna let these settings, you know, determine how good the game is. If you don't have HDIG and you tweak these settings, your TV or monitor that has HDR but not HDIG, it could be try to counter your tweaks. With HDIG on, it's just disabled and it just like lets the game control it. That is my understanding. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, something to mention here. Seems very multi-threaded. It's a little bit heavier on system memory. You're gonna need at least 12 to 16 gig of system memory. But I love the vibe of the game so far. Graphically, it looks really nice, really sharp. Again, the tearing here is due to the frame gen being on. It could be the mod that makes it a little bit extra noticeable and stuff like that. But it could also just be that, you know, it's... Woohoo! You know, it could also just be that, in general, VSync is just not supported with frame generation in general or in this game. But it's not a big problem, and if you have G-Sync or FreeSync monitor, you should be able to, you know, not get tearing by enabling G-Sync or FreeSync, and then yeah, then you should be able to get rid of the tearing. But it's minimal, and again, I prefer the smoothness.
Aw, over already.
I'm gonna link the mod to the mod down below. As I said, you need to put the mod in the correct place, and then you can enable frame generation through FSR 3 in this game with an RTX 2 and 3000 series graphics card and Nvidia graphics card.
Very funny. Gets funnier every time you say it.
Let me do this.
I know, right?
For game. For the game. Okay, so that is practicing the bow. Woo! Absolutely love the graphic. Everything so far feels really nice. Really snappy and good. Yeah, and it's just a little bit of tearing here that is unfortunately visible. But yeah, it could be the mod, it could be something else. What you can do obviously is go into the options, video, and could turn that to, right, we could do this. And you can play it just at 60 frames. This is very much playable in 60 frames. still seems to be some tearing options. Oh, there we go. Turn that one on. There we go. And you can just have super smooth here. No, for the showcase in this game, so you don't have to look at the tearing, I'm gonna play with this. It's very playable. It's not super fast paced. I do really like 120 frames, and you could probably, you know, tweak it like that, tweak it like this, and you know, do medium settings. Ooh, okay, medium settings is not working. Oh, wait a minute, let me just double check something. Right, yeah, I'm still GPU limited here. Video. Let me turn it down to... Oh, oops. There you go. So you have to run on low settings. This still looks very beautiful. And you can pretty much almost get... You can almost get 120, some extra smoothness, VSync and everything on. But let's do this. Oops, video. For recording purposes. How demanding is this? I'm just curious. Ooh, that is demanding. Yeah, high settings. Sorry for messing around, but wanna showcase the different thing how to do stuff here. I'm gonna go with high. High settings, quality mode, VSync on. Hold X and move to choose a target. Right.
Even after years of being hit, the target still hadn't learned to move out of the way. But then, that's inanimate objects for you.
Let's do that. There we go. But this is probably best for us. For the streaming here with 60 locked frames smoothness. Again, 60 frames is absolutely playable in this game for me. Might be something that I actually would want to do to just get rid of the tearing. It's kind of a toss-up. What I also could do is I could... Let me try this. You won't see this, but just for science, I'm gonna try to turn lossless scaling on here. I don't... Video game in windowed mode. 2 times per 4, blah 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 blah. Let's try this. So 82%. Ah, right. That did not seem to want to work. Let's try again. There we go. Alright, a little bit too heavy. You can use lossless scaling, but I have to turn settings down for lossless scaling to work. I could use lossless scaling with this game. Lossless scaling is working, but I need to tweak settings. So let's just go with 60 frames. Lossless scaling is kind of what the AMD has in their driver. It's not as good at the DLSS or FSR frame generation, but it works in most application and games really nicely. But you have to tweak the settings a little bit. I couldn't just, with 80% of GPU utilization here, I couldn't. There we go. I couldn't turn off lossless scaling without tweaking the settings a little bit. Maybe turn DLSS to balance mode, some settings to medium. So we're gonna go with the 60 frames here.
A strange device Tirsa found next to you when you were a baby. It's called a focus?
Ooh.
I won't ask why you've kept it from me all this time because I'm just too excited. Gimme! Huh. Does it go like... Looks like it goes... Here.
Good voice acting. Definitely you get the AAA feel from this game. Really
Come
solid.
on, I've waited years to find out what it does.
Whoa. I can see stuff shining on those
So
targets.
I've actually
Like
not
it's
played the
telling me
main
where to shoot.
games.
This must be so rare.
Because
Like
I tried
one of a
one and it
kind.
was
Actually,
too much
Tirsa
sneaking
found a
around
whole
me.
bag. Always good to have some spares, right? For friends and
Ooh.
family.
So yeah, so I never played original and I feel this is gonna be more just quicker. Main games. The main games looked visually really nice. Left button to use focus.
Aloy couldn't wait to make some new friends and start handing out focuses to them.
Yeah.
They were gonna look so
Full X
cool.
move. Target weak point. Ooh, first stutter.
You didn't see that one coming.
Ah.
Now we're cooking.
Woo. Do-do-do-do.
You've been toasting that machine dummy since you were 5, but it never gets old.
Excuse me, Rost. The dummy has a name. And it's Fred.
Ooh.
Sorry, Fred.
It's okay, he forgives you.
After everything Aloy had put him through, Fred had certainly earned some respect. But other machines in the wild were rather less friendly.
Alright, nothing more here. Whoop.
Ah, this is refreshing.
So beautiful looking. Holy crap, the HDR effect, the art style of the Lego. It runs and feels super smooth. Like, yeah, I would probably just go with 60 frames for this game. It's not a fast paced in that. Okay, oops.
Let's pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll probably just go with 60 frames. Like this. Just not get the tearing. The tearing was a bit distracting. But yeah, you have frame gen that you can tweak for a bit extra smoothness. Especially if you have G-Sync and or FreeSync compatible monitor.
I think I could get used to flying.
Woohoo! So, okay, first boss. I think I'm happy with my HDR setting at the moment.
That's one ticked off broadhead. Remember, don't let it charge at you. Might be best to sneak up on it. As long as you stay in the long grass.
Oh, I
it
have
won't
to sneak in this game also.
I know, but
Okay.
it's so itchy.
Aloy
Let's see how
had
this is
heard
gonna turn
stories
out.
of the days when the metal creatures were docile and peaceful. It made her think that maybe destroying them wasn't the nicest thing to do. Then one would headbutt.
Right, so for my TCL CH35 TV that I'm using at my computer monitor, that can reach a peak brightness of around in HDR about 1050 nits. This is my settings that I'm going for. I went with the 5 out of 100 for HDR minimum luminance, 30 out of 100 of the middle luminance. HDR peak I set to 1000 because this would overshoot it, so this should be better than just the 1050 that isn't achievable here. Probably this is also fine. Could be better, it could be worse, but you will get some hard clipping with that, so I think this is safer. And the HDR UI brightness as 100 seems really nice. And on my RTX 3070 here, coupled with my Ryzen 5600X, this is the settings I went with in 1440p, you know, window mode, but it should be the same for full screen 1440p, obviously. DLSS with on. The DLA is very heavy. It is pretty much one of the machine learning Nvidia anti-aliasing technique. So if you don't have a really powerful GPU, you're probably not going to be able to use DLAA. TSR is the built-in upscaling function within the Unreal Engine. Might be very good options, but DLSS seems to be better. So DLSS with quality. I'm gonna link the mod, but I think I'm gonna play without the mod in 60 frames for me. VSync on. Other settings here, you know, is just going to be high. If you don't want to use frame generation on the RTX 3070 and reach 120 frames in 1440p, you're probably gonna need to pretty much turn most of this one to low and use DLSS at balanced mode. So yeah, you might then be able to get 120 frames with VSync on locked, which could be really good.
Her in the face and she'd get over it.
Psych. That glowing spot is a great place for my arrow. Bullseye, knocked it off. Target right there on the shiny spot. Oh, I'm good. Hit there. Focus knows best.
Alright, yeah. This is easy mode sneak, so that fits me perfect. Alright. It's pretty much...
See me out there? I've got
Alright, let's
the
wait
moves.
here.
Now I just have to meet Tirsa, find out who my mother was, and life will be pretty much perfect.
Don't start celebrating yet. It's bad luck.
Right, bad luck.
Besides, there's one more thing you must face before we go on.
What?
Lunch. Thought you might get the munchies, so I got up early and made you your favorite sandwich.
Pickle? Nice! What are we waiting for? I'm starving here.
Wait. Hear that? Sounds like Mother's heart is in trouble. It's under attack.
They're taking people away. We have to do something.
We're too far away, Aloy.
Look, there's people moving over there.
Come on, move it.
Let us go, you wingnuts! Let us go!
Nice try, Grandma.
I ain't your grandma, pasty white butt
No, that was Tirsa, wasn't it?
She's still at it. Stop messing around. Helis is waiting for us.
Wow, celebrating too early is bad luck.
Sure is. We have to help her.
Come on, let's find out what happened.
Nope, 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 nope. Yes. Mother's heart was far emptier than the village Aloy had imagined. Then again, a strange cult had just kidnapped a bunch of people, so the place was quieter than usual. But I'll let Sona, the villager's tough defender, fill you in. Take it away, Sona.
I can't believe this happened on my watch. Cultists right inside Mother's heart.
What happened?
I went out to deal with some machines prowling outside our gates, but it was all part of the cult's plan. Just as I was giving this nasty broadhead a wedgie, I realized something didn't smell right. By the time I got back, Tirsa and the others were gone.
How many people did they take?
You know how hard it is to count without fingers. All I know is we have to save them. But I can't leave my post again.
Don't worry. We saw the way they went. We'll get Tirsa and the others back.
One more thing. My son, Varl. He ran off on a rescue mission before I could stop him. The boy's got a good heart. but he's not ready for this kind of trouble.
Alright, that's a nice couch co-op for
Cultists,
online.
huh?
Cool stuff.
Sounds mysterious.
Okay. So far I haven't used my right stick.
We're lost without Tyrsa's granny brain.
Without the Matriarch Lodge, we're missing. Do you mind?
Yeah, but the HDR effect here, like, this looks really nice. I can see this,
Good day to you.
like, it was glowing up. Reach 10 to build. Continue the story to build. Alright.
Why would
Story
anyone
to
take
build.
our friends prisoner?
Such a lovely game. So yeah, okay, so I was saying that I haven't really felt any like major stutters. There are a few here and there because you can see I'm right at the edge here, pushing almost the max utilization of my GPU. I might be able to just do this to give me just a smidge more headroom, especially when recording here. But yeah, it hasn't really been any stuttering. You can see a little bit load stutter, but they have been minimal. Nothing that has been nothing that has been like annoying or anything like that. Most of the time it's just like this, very smooth.
Things haven't been the same since the Matriarch Lodge had to close.
Absolutely. There you can see, there was a little bit of traversal stutter, but it has been minimal. It could obviously be tweaked, and it could be that when it's loading an area and everything, I'm just maxing out. I can also see, I don't know if you can see, but
Good thing I love
here's the
saving
memory
people.
here. I'm up to 13 gigabytes, which is one of the heavier games that I've encountered in a while. So you're probably gonna be best off with 16 gig of system memory in your computer for this to work good. Into the boot, rescuing Nora. Oh, you had to press Y. So let's see here. I do know that this is quite pricey, but like this seems solid.
That's where they found
Really
you.
solid.
All Mother Mountain. A sacred, mysterious place.
I
Watching...
thought it was that one over there.
yes, of course. A sacred, mysterious place. Watching over us always. Holding tight to its secrets.
Like, why my mom left me there. Well, I won't be finding out without Tirsa, so let's save those villagers.
Voice acting is nice, the graphic settings, options, controls feels tight. And like,
I can't believe cultists
yeah.
kidnapped all those people.
Might be pricey, but it
They're
seems
bad news,
really
all right.
well done.
Yeah,
This
really bad.
AAA
the
feeling
worst,
here.
just the worst. And I just have one question. What's a cultist?
Let me see. How do I explain? Cultists are so convinced they're right about something, usually something pretty crazy, that you just can't reason with them.
Oh, like how you're so sure gravy goes well with pancakes.
Kinda, but with worse consequences than indigestion.
Like Mother's heart getting attacked. But why would these cultists do that? Why take the villagers prisoner?
I guess we're gonna find out. Come on. Boy, a mystery. Just the kind of thing to make a story interesting, according to my narrator manual.
Right. And also this game, like this is what I want. Like pretty much by now I wish that the majority of the games had this. Like this. These four settings here really just... The HDR here looks so good. Amazing good. And this like... Yeah, like even for 2D games, like there's pretty much like HDR can benefits pretty much every games. You can get less color banning because you have wider wider range of colors, and just you can get more oomph from like explosions or peaks. And it's not overdoing the HDR effect. Like here, it's a pretty subtle. It's just a little bit on the fire here to my left that has a bit higher HDR peak. Not the entire scene. And it's just, this is where we should be. Like at this point in time, by 2024 ending, this should be the default for HDR gaming on PC. It just adds an extra oomph, and if you have an OLED monitor, it's just gonna be even better. Like not in this scene. In this scene, the OLED monitor is not gonna pop crazy. It's gonna be better. Like the top left, the darkness might be a little bit better. But in darker scenes, I'm sure it might be in this game. It's just gonna make HDR gonna be absolutely even more amazing. Just, yeah. I'm gonna say one thing though. I don't think that these settings, I don't think these were available until I enabled HDR. And that is really bad. It should be an HDR. This should be available but grayed out when you are in SDR mode. To like give you a sense of, okay, this game supports HDR. I might remember wrong. I'd only, tested this for like 4 or 5 minutes. Just, a quick few minutes in the menu and then 2-3 minutes in the game to just see that it was working. Then I saw online that this game had HDR support, so I enabled HDR in Windows and, this one. So I'm not sure if I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I saw this one the first time I launched this. That's obviously really bad. If I'm wrong, that's great. If these were available but grayed out, that is the best way to do it, because then you know that, oh, this game supports HDR. Because you're not going to be, at this point in time, you're not going to be running your monitor in HDR all the time. It's just not. Windows is not good for that. In my opinion, you might not have to agree with that, obviously. And that's fine. Ooh, that was a slight stutter there, okay. What is that? I don't think I can go... I would like to disable the connector controller button down there. It's... There we go. Thank you. Perfect. Wow. Such good little quality of life thing there. Since I'm gonna be playing solo, you don't need that. Woohoo! Oh, right.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, but so far all I can say, this feels really, really great. Obviously it's hard to tell how much of extra feature and stuff that's gonna be coming later in the game, so it might turn to a game that is not really my style later on, but so far everything's great. The only thing I'm missing is the right stick. I would like to be able to pan the camera around a little bit.
Wasting no time at all.
Oh, that's oops.
Let's take it steady.
Yeah.
Hit there. Focus knows.
Yeah, this fits me perfect because I'm not a sneaking person. Oh. Ah.
Into the shadows. Right where I wanted it.
Yeah, this works perfectly for me. The right amount of sneak versus action. But it's so hard to get over just how beautiful this is. And I think they build the entire game, like, well, maybe not the entire game, but they just, like, in a true Lego scale model. Not scale, but Lego model. And, like, everything here just looking built, like, with Legos and everything. It's just, whoa. This is so far, might be this year's best looking game. I'm trying to think of, there was this climbing game, was this year or last year? Really good looking also, and as others, but this might be, for me, just the top looking, beautiful game with HDR, with the art style. Might not be the best game of the year, but the art style wise, whew.
And off we go.
But I do, again, the biggest thing that I miss is just camera, not being able to pan it around or anything. So we don't know which way we're supposed to go. We have two different ways. So far it's pretty linear. Okay.
Let's see what we can
There's just one way we can go so far. Right, that's good. No. Oh. What? Didn't look like it took fall damage. Which is good. Meow. Oh man, yeah. Such a just a charming game here.
see now.
Uh-oh. Ah!
Aim for the glowing bits.
Run!
Weak spot identified. That glowing spot is a great place for my arrow.
Yeah, this kind of level of easy sneak mode fits me perfect with the action. So this lights up after we have fought.
Ooh, time for a quick dip.
So nice with the water being like Legos also. They did amazing work with this. Like, I can't really find anything, you know, the negatives are just minor with the panning of the camera. No support like XCS and FSR, and the frame generation with DLSS and FSR combined. They are minor things because I'm running this again with 60 frames on the RTX 3070 in 1440p, and you know, that's really great on high settings, because even if you have to run this game in low settings, it looks really good. And like, no real huge stutter that is really bugging me or anything like that. Mechanics here, it's just, they made a really good job. Seems like a perfect game for you, you know, that play with your kids or whatever also. With the online and with co-op. Just a very fun, good options to have.
And that's the last bathroom break you're getting.
Hey, we have rights, you know.
Found some of the prisoners. Now to clear out the guards.
So on my top corner I have a kind of score thing showing. That's my camera is hidden, but I don't think that's how many like of these extra bits and pieces that I pick up are being monitored there. But I don't think it's necessary to move the camera to showcase that. Okay, that's an invisible wall. A little bit unfortunate, nothing major. How do you get... Well, that's probably not a good thing to do it like that. Maybe I could have done this in a different way. Yeah, of course you could. Could have sneaked this way. Well, this is gonna be interesting.
Oh, talk about a view!
Can't believe plants just need sun's rays. Photosynthesis. Like photo daylight property.
Bullseye, knocked it off.
Oh, ah!
Feeling fragile. Need to heal.
Ah!
A little health boost. Hit there. Focus knows best. Oh! Woo, look at that! That glowing spot is a great place for my arrow.
Woo! Get busy!
Small.
You should have joined a knitting cult! Ah! Aloy won. This guy, nada.
Ah, you could use the...
Weak spot identified.
There we go. Ooh. And we have full HP. Oh, I could have used maybe the fire to do something interesting with. Can I? Oh, you can set those on fire. Will it burn up? Oh, it will. But that's my cover, so that's a bad idea. Okay. That was nice looking. Alright, let's free the dudes. We are coming up to 1 hour here.
Whoa! Let me help you.
Free at last.
Which is a nice point, I feel, of showcasing
The
game.
girl who grew up outside the village. She whose mother is a mystery.
Sure. But you can call me Aloy.
Oh, wow. An outsider. So different. So glamorous. So... in need of a good tailor. That's me. Teb the tailor. Do you cosplay? Because, oh boy, do I have costumes
Can we
for
get the
you.
Sailor Moon cosplay?
I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds exciting.
I'll make you an outfit as soon as I get back to Mother's Heart.
Okay,
forget
can we
to come
get
see me
different
at my shop.
costumes? Cool, cool. Alright,
Good timing. I was starting to get snacky in there.
alright. This? A little bit of stutter there, nothing major that bugs me too much. You rescued Teb the Tailor, and you have 1 golden brick, Lego brick.
Look at the state of my shop. How am I supposed to
that
keep
was
Mother's
it.
Heart at the
Okay.
forefront of fashion with this mess?
Let me see what I can do. I'm getting pretty good at building stuff.
You're the best, Aloy.
Though many of its people were still missing, Aloy was pleased to see life at Mother's Heart was returning to normal. With Teb the tailor back in his shop, maybe she could celebrate with a brand new outfit. Because who doesn't love dressing up?
Oh, I can spend my points on this one. I guess this is fine stuff. I think I prefer the... Oh, you can even see which one you can unlock. I prefer the default, to be quite honest. This is nice stuff to have, but I think the one here was more what I think was looking interesting. Or this maybe if I were to get something. And that's free, that I can equip it if I wanna do. Nothing wrong. Again, this might be pretty interesting look there. But yeah, I think I prefer this one, so... So, I don't need to buy anything actually.
While she'd been trying on outfits, Aloy heard an interesting bit of town gossip. A gigantic creature had been seen in the wilds, giving the villagers even more reasons to worry. She decided to investigate at once, because, well, who wouldn't?
Right. Ooh, little tiny scooter.
Okay.
Here it is. Let's see. Alright. It looked a little bit stuttering, but I'm getting 60 frames per second here. It's interesting. Isn't smooth. I don't know what it is. But my frame rate is rock solid here.
Things haven't been the same.
You're up to 7.2 gig of VRAM.
Still people missing, but at least the tailor shop is open again.
It's weird, I don't know why. I have VSync on, right? Yeah, we have VSync on. It's not that super smooth, which is interesting. You're definitely gonna need 8 GB VRAM to run this game. Something here was weird. No, there we go. There is some stutters or frame pacing problem here. But my FPS is locked, so could be my low FPS or something causing problems. This is the first real troublesome. I haven't really felt that, but here when I'm going, frame pacing is not smooth. Something is off here.
Please bring him back.
Definitely if something wrong with the frame pacing here. Let me try, if we go back to doing this. This feels better frame pace wise.
My son has a good heart, but I do worry he's not ready.
It is something that feels a little bit off, but a little bit better frame pace wise here. This probably would be perfectly fine with frame generation on and everything, because would probably not really be... Oh, okay. Would probably not be a problem with any input latencies. Feels really snappy and everything, good enough for a game like this. So I'm gonna... It seems like it's only automatic save, so I'm gonna assume that I have hit one of the automatic saves here. Let's see. I seem to be not getting 120 frames locked, unfortunately. Meaning that I would probably need to turn down some things here. That's fine. Let's do that, and let's do this. I could get 120 frames locked, so there we go. Yeah, here you have it. The look at Lego Horizon Adventure. Amazingly good looking game. Great HDR implementation. Lots of, like, even remapping the controller within the game, it's perfect. Story is nice, I like it. Is it, you know, the deepest crazy? No, but it's a nice, quirky little easy gameplay here. I don't know how long it is or stuff like that, but just the base feel of the game here is just top-notch to me. Again, it is definitely on the expensive side, so you might want to hold off for that. But the experience you get, and if this is like 6 to 8 hours or whatever, to me, it is just, if you're into this and if you maybe play again, you can play with a friend online, whatever, a perfect game for your kids, to show your kids into, you know, gaming, or to play with your kids. It's so good here. And yeah, there is just this minor thing with the frame pacing issue that I didn't feel in the beginning of the game. I felt it later on here after completing the first mission. Not game breaking, but something I hope that they can look into, because I had a locked 60 frames there with VSync on, but it's just something felt not as smooth as it should be. And again, I do feel it's missing a little bit, not a lot, but just to pan the camera maybe a little bit with the right stick or something could have been a nice addition. And obviously this is a heavy game, but it's not overly heavy, right? You can still run this at 1080p with DLSS or TSR, or 1440p, you know, DLSS, TSR, and use upscaling, and you can reach 60 to 120 frames on low to medium settings here on a mid to lower tier graphics card still. And there's not a lot of like shaders, compilation stutters that I've noticed. There are minimal traversal stutter, loading stutter, stuff like that hasn't been really bothering me, but minor tweaks can be done. But there's nothing really like sticking out as like, oh, this is really not good, this is really not bad. The game mechanics are easy but fun to get into. The sneaking, and like as you can saw in my last fight, I probably failed a sneak in there, but it was fine. It's not gonna be, probably, you have difficult setting, but it's probably gonna be an easier game. But not every game has to be, you know, challenging, to me at least. Sometimes it's nice to have a charming experience or a relaxing experience, or more of a cinematic or story experience. So this was something I'm in one way or another are going to play. It's not gonna be, you know, my YouTube channel. It might be on my Twitch channel, or just a rainy offline day where I don't wanna do nothing but just sit quietly and play a game, whatever, and it's just a super solid experience. So you can leave a like, a comment if you want to do that. You can follow or check back to the channel if you don't want to miss me trying games, demos, and video related stuff. You might want to catch me playing some of the games I do try on my YouTube channel. You can check out my Twitch channel, you know, twitch.tv/HulkandStrong. Follow or check that one out. Not being consistent with streaming is something I would wanna be, but not at the moment, not being consistent. And it might not, depending on when this comes out, because it takes unfortunately quite a lot of time for YouTube to process HDR, and you don't really know when. I might have already played this game or not, or it might take a while before I play this game, if I do, because I'm currently playing Soldiers on my Twitch channel. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video here. It's really fun, solid, good experience, great game, what it feels and starts off as, at least the first 1 hour. So yeah, thanks for watching, have a great day, and goodbye for this time.